Okay then, Mark, I'm going to turn the tables now. I'm going to ask you a question. So come on, what's gone wrong here? This is a crop of spring beans. Everybody tells me that the break crop in the spring to deal with your blackgrass, but when you look in here, there's quite a lot of blackgrass growing. Tell me.
Yeah, well, I mean, if we look at the sign, this is spring beans. It's followed an autumn cover, but actually, within the life of this project, this has had a long run of no cover crops. So lots of spring cropping, but no cover crops. So like we've seen the spring wheat with lots of blackgrass with no cover crop. So over the years, we've been building up a population. So 1 year hasn't fixed the problem. We've put centurion mats on here in a cold spring, cold dry spring, and it hasn't done as well as we'd like. And because we haven't been doing the right thing for a number of years, we've got the wrong result. And okay, we're trying to develop systems where we don't have to rely on chemistry. So we need to bring everything together to get the right result. So if our chemistry fails, or we've got limited options like we have on spring beans, that we don't end up with this.
So the message I would take from here is that yes, we need to bring in spring cropping, but we need to choose quite carefully which spring crops we're using. If we know we've got a massive burden of blackgrass, and you can see here that spring beans are not the most competitive of crops, and perhaps we'd have been better coming in with, say, some spring oats or possibly spring barley. Do you think?
Think back to some of the really successful first wheats we've looked at, and we talked about the previous crop was director of spring beans and autumn cover, and that's clearly worked really well. They were a really good entry for our wheats. But they're in a system where we have incorporated autumn cover crops.
Yes.
And with the spring crops, this is a system where it happened last year. It wasn't a fantastic, blown in, dry autumn cover crop. But the history of this is it hasn't had that long run of autumn cover crops, which are clearly making a big difference to our grass weed control.